What up, guys? This is Jake and Ryan from Hope Makers, and this is a YouTube video for you guys, going a little bit more in depth on the concept of living one foot in the spirit and one foot in the world, or another way to put it would be putting your head in the clouds and your feet firmly planted on the earth. So some of the things that I've seen have been like, if you're too far into the clouds and your head's too far up there and you're too spiritual, man, you're just kind of glazed over. Or you've seen the people on Instagram, they're like, hello, I'm Jake. I want to talk about being free. And then you have the other people that are like, you just gotta hustle, man, just hustle as hard as you can. You just gotta hustle, nothing else matters, bro. Like, it's just about hustling, you know, and just work harder. So it's like, what we're saying is that there's a space in between those two things that's practical, that can really add value to your life, not being too far in either direction.
Yeah, so to bring up a couple other examples, like I was listening to a podcast a little while back where it was discussing like isolation chambers and that form of meditation, and there was this dude who just took it to the full-on extreme and was like logging his hours, and he was doing like 1,000 hours a month or something ridiculous, like just trying to get so deep into it. And it's like, all right, dude, well, what else are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, you think you can actually hold a conversation with people in their day-to-day like life and what they're going on with when you're just meditating for thousands of hours a month in an isolation chamber? Isolation chamber, literally cutting you off from the world, like he was talking about. And then you have your other extreme, where it's the guy who goes to work and he's just pounding like 9 to 5, 9 to 9, like those 12-hour guys, and then they go home and they watch TV and get into that state where they're just shut off immediately. And those two extremes, they're extremes, you know? You can't really do much with either one of those, so you have to work on finding that balance and being able to go back and forth. It's kind of like a switch, but at the same time you want to be in both of them at the same time, kind of like that yin and yang aspect, where you have both going on and you find this like kind of balance, this harmonial balance.
Right. Yeah, and that's really, you know, like from my own personal experience, I've had times where I go in both directions, obviously, and it becomes unrelatable at a certain point. Like, I'll be, you know, say I'm surfing so much that I just like, you know, it's just surf, like I haven't talked to anyone in days. I literally have to start talking again. And I'm like, how do I move my mouth? Like, how do I talk to people? Or I'm just like super weird when I talk to them, like my energy's off. And then there's other times where I'm talking so much and talking. And, you know, it's just like, I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. I'm just talking just to open my mouth and talk, you know? So it's like, so it really is about finding that in-between zone. And what I've found too is that I need to tap into that higher power. And the reason I do that, and the reason I recharge from life and I take a break from it, is that so when I do engage again and I help people and I talk to people, I can be fully present with them. I'm not just there just to like kind of just give them a half-assed answer and not actually give any value, you know? So that for me is the most important thing about that recharging spiritual life, is it's others focused. And I do that in order to give away that spiritual energy to people, because I want to, like, that's the thing I want the most, is I want to be able to convey something spiritual, something from out of this world to a person. But I can't do that if I'm never talking to people or if I'm never engaging.
Yeah, so when it comes to like conveying from one alcoholic to another, one addict to another, this is definitely a great concept for your normie, the people who are just, they're not like us. I don't understand them, probably never will. If they were able to do this, they would find benefit in it. But when it comes from what we're trying to work towards and the sobriety aspect of it and talking to other people about it, you definitely need to have some sort of understanding of this in order to help somebody. And like Jake was talking about, you can come from the extreme of either one and it's just not gonna land. So there's finding that balance, and how do you do that, you know? Sometimes it's going to one side of it and then bouncing back to the other. Like for me, I'll just work. I'll ask for more hours because I want to make more money or something, and I'll go so far into that I start getting resentful. People ask me for advice and I just don't give it to them, or I kind of shut them down, or I'll give them a quick sentence response. And then I have other times, usually once I've burnt that to the ground, where all I want to do is go to the gym and meditate and go to the jacuzzi and relax. But it's being able to, yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
It's being able to come back and forth, and then finding it where you shift kind of a little bit. You're doing a little jig in between both of them, and that's that sweet spot that you want to find. And honestly,
it takes time, yeah.
It takes time, it takes practice. It's just this whole thing, sobriety, is experience and learning from it. You cannot just go through things and not look at what's going on. If you do that, you're gonna be headed for a place where it's gonna be tough to get out of it.
Right, and I think, just to kind of wrap on it all, is that there really is, it's like balance, right? And so for like the normie or like the normal person, or like, I don't know, just like the motherfucking like example we have, in society, which is like, you just hustle all the time and all your life is perfect. You have the money, you got the girl, it's just like, you just work hard and get all that. If you build it, they will come. Which is like putting the outside stuff first and not the inside stuff. So we have that example, but for alcoholics, addicts, extreme personality types, people like myself, where like I just kind of take that to the limit, that stuff's pretty much poison. Like I'm gonna die from that, basically. Like the actual advice I get from society could kill me as an alcoholic. And that's like something you were saying, like the normies don't really understand that. They don't understand that this shit could literally kill us. And they're wondering why we can't just put self-will into it more. And so this concept, I love it so much, and we could literally talk about this all day. It's just keeping one foot in the spirit and one foot in the world, and keeping a balance. So our society's not balanced, but we have to learn to do that. We have to learn to find balance in our lives. And like you were saying, man, it's like, it's experience. Like you have to go on this side for a while, go on that side, realize where you're fucking up, have your friends put you back on the line too, or your support system, your fellowship. And, and you learn, you get back up and you just go, okay, I'm going to try this differently this time.
Absolutely. Try to be conscious and don't be too hard on yourself. You'll figure it out.